intro, and I like the fact that you don't even know that you're already preaching the message in the announcements. Because you were talking about, wow, God really moves in a small group of people. You can have crowds and crowds and crowds of people chanting and singing to God, but there is no God with them, right? And so we will see this come up in the story of the Ark of the Covenant. But before we get into the scriptures, I just want us to take a whole new look at the story of the Ark of the Covenant and Obed-Edom, because we're so quick to jump into preaching about the blessings of Obed-Edom and how when the Ark of the Covenant comes into you, and when he dwells in your heart, you will be blessed, you will be prosperous in all you do, everything good will fall upon you, you will have no sickness, you will have no disease, you will have no need, you will have no hunger, and it just doesn't always work out like that. Right? We say we receive the blessings of Obed-Edom, but we don't see the fulfillment of the word. And so I asked myself why. How come everywhere the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark of the Lord goes, it doesn't always bless? It does not always bless, because when the Ark of the Covenant was moved before it went to the house of Obed-Edom, in fact it brought curses to where it went, because it was not being handled the way that we are to revere and to love the Ark of the Lord. So you may have him, you may have God in your heart, you may accept God into you and God the Spirit, and we may have the Ark of the Covenant, but if your heart is not completely surrendered to the Lord, I fear that we'll get cursed and not blessed. Mightily, God himself sent tumors to the Philistines who had taken captive the Ark of the Lord. We'll go into but he sent tumors to them, to the point where they weren't sure. Just like you said, we don't always want to agree that these are spiritual things going on. This is when you're preaching the message again. Yeah, these Philistines, they weren't believers in God, right? They worshipped other gods. They weren't sure if all the curses that were coming to them, because they had stolen the Ark of the Covenant, was from God. They even doubted that. And so we're going to dig into that. And so even though this is a message, Ola told me, he goes, you're going to be preaching on Obed-Edom. Obed-Edom, it's yours. And I said, hey, I want to preach on blessings. And then as I'm studying and reading and praying, I'm like, oh Lord, no, it's also about curses. Sadly. But we can't be ignorant of what happens when we have the Ark of the Covenant come to us. I want to start, before we even get into Obed-Edom, before we even get to the Ark going to Obed-Edom, I want to start after the Israelites, and I'm going to be paraphrasing some because there would be way too much scripture to read in one night. But the Israelites had been taken out of Egypt. Moses had gone up to the mountain and written down the 10 Commandments, and he was instructed to build this ark, right? And it was about between 3 and 4 foot. It was kind of like a little shorter version of me and a little fatter version of me. With like 2 cherubims on top, and there's some people that believe that when God spoke to Moses, he had his head between them. And so he built this thing, and it was to keep, inside of it was the 2 tablets that Moses had written down, and there was a lot of rules on how they were to handle this ark. Right? The Levites were supposed to carry it. They were supposed to cover it with skins so that none of the glory was taken out. So that Deuteronomy has all these rules and regulations on how to treat it. And so the Israelites had this Ark of the Covenant. They marched this ark around the city walls of Jericho 7 times and then chanted. And success and victory was with them because they carried this ark. And they were mightily blessed because of it. But they started to take God for granted, right? And so when they were in battle with the Philistines, they lost one of the battles one night. I think they lost about 4,000 men, and they went back to the camp and said, wow, we're losing. Why are we losing? What's going on? And some bright-eyed genius said, let's bring the ark into the battle with us, and surely victory will come with us. Well, I'm not so sure if they asked God if that's where he wanted to go, or if they were just saying, okay, God, we've got, it's like Christians today saying, well, I'm a Christian, so that's not going to happen to me, right? I can cross the road without looking because God is with me, and a car is not going to come hit me. It's like, no, that doesn't always happen. He wants us to use our faith, and he wants us to reach out to. It's not just carrying around this ark. You know, the first day that I went to court for this divorce, Kelly's lawyer stood up and said, before anything, he stood up and said, my client is a Christian, and he believes in God, and he goes to church every Sunday, and this is wrong in the eyes of God. That was how this started. I said, oh wow, that's crazy. That's what we do today, right? And so the Israelites are in this battle with the Philistines. They had lost. They were scared of losing again. And so they said, fine, we're going to pull our God card, and he's going to show up, and he's going to fight for us. Well, what happened was, Eli was the priest at that time, and so it was actually one of his sons, not a good son, that said, let's bring this ark into the battle, and so they did. So the next day, they chanted, they were cheering, they really had faith, they really believed that God, this ark, was going to bring them victory. So they're chanting, and they're cheering, and they're blowing their trumpets. I mean, going from a defeat to this sort of crazy, like, riot, the Philistines were like, what's going on? You know? They look at it, what's all that noise about? And so they go closer and say, oh no, they brought the ark. We're going to get defeated, they said. They're going to come and they're going to win. We know what that ark has done for them. We know what happened to Pharaoh. We know that God brought them through the dry river ground. We know that God gave them victory in the promised land. They knew what God had done for these people, through this ark, which is like the glory of God is in this ark. This is what's the true image of God at the time, right? And so they saw this and they heard this people and they were like, oh man, I wish it wouldn't done. Now we're sure going to lose and we're all going to die. But they did not go down crying. I found it very interesting reading the scriptures with some chapters prior here, and this is in 2nd or 1st Samuel. The Philistines said, well, we're going to go down, but let's make sure we go down like men, not like sissies. We're not going to run away. We're going to be men, and we're going to go down, and at least we'll die like men, because they thought they were going to die. And so they have this giant battle. The Israelites think they're going to win. Well, they were wrong. 30,000 men died in that battle. 30,000 Israelites died. And the Philistines conquered and won. Not only that, they killed both of Eli's sons. They slayed them dead, and they stole the Ark of the Covenant from the Israelites. One person survived. And it says this one guy that survived that ran away from battle, it said his clothes were torn. It said he had ground on his head. He'd been like digging down. He was hurrying home to the Israelites, right? And Eli was 84 years old, I think, at the time. So he didn't see really well. So he's like, what's going on? What's going on? Come and report to me. And he goes, oh man, it's so bad. The battle was so bad. Everyone is dead. Everyone is dead, and your 2 sons have been slain. Eli's still alive when it says this. And then the guy says, and the Ark of the Covenant has been stolen from us. And the scripture says that because of the news of the ark being stolen, Eli himself fell off his chair, broke his neck, and died immediately. Oh, it didn't stop there, everything happened, because Eli himself had a stepdaughter that was pregnant. And she saw that Eli died, and that her husband had just died, and she was very pregnant, and she went into labor right away, and she had labor pains, and she named that son not a very good thing. God has departed from us. Yes, God has departed from us is what his name means when he was born. So all these things trickle down, trickle down, trickle down. And meanwhile, God is on his own, right? He's in the camp of the Philistines, and they're so excited. Now we have the power. Now we can do anything. Now we will be victorious. Let's just put this God with our other God, right? That's what they did. So they took the Ark of the Covenant, and they took it into their temple next to their God called Dagon. Thank you. And and so they put it next there, and they leave the temple, and then they walk in the next morning, and their God Dagon, I imagine he looks something like this. I don't know. I couldn't look it up, but he was flat on his face on the floor in front of the ark. They all go, oh no, that's not right. That's our God. Let's have him back up. They put him back up. They left for the day. The next day they come back. What do they find? They found Dagon on the ground with both of his arms broken off and his head cut off. And so they're like, oh wow, this isn't good. Let's take this ark out to different cities in the Philistine area, and every time it would be followed by disease, by tumors, by death, by destruction, by every possible imaginable horrible thing you can imagine, to the point that when they saw the ark, they were like, no, we don't want it, take it back. We don't want it, take it back. And King, it said, scripture, God sent tumors. They made idol things of tumors because they wanted to pray them away. I mean, this was so serious. It brought destruction to them, to the point where they didn't want it anymore, but they were also a little thick-headed. They weren't like, oh, this is because we stole God from the Israelites. Like, it could be coincidence. So there's this whole chapter in the Bible where they debate, is it God or is it circumstance? Is it God or is it circumstance?
Even though they saw the pattern over and over again, just like I was saying,
Yeah,
I saw the pattern over and over again, yet, you're like, it's just coincidence.
Just like you said, I threw salt, and then 3 days later, the house is sold. Oh, was it God? Was it circumstance? Well, let's not be as thick-headed as the Philistines were. At least they questioned. At least it didn't say it was just circumstance, and that's essentially what saved them, because all of them would have died in this destruction. And so what they did, they said, okay, let's take 2 cows that have never had a yoke on them before. They don't know how to drag things, right? They've just had babies, they have calves. Let's take 2 cows like that, and they built a cart for the ark. And they said, okay, these cows naturally want to stay with their babies because they're nursing these cows. If they hook up this cart to these 2 cows that have never had any yoke on them before, they don't know what they're supposed to do. If they keep walking in that direction and do not turn back to go feed their children, it is God that has been cursing us, and we don't want anything to do with that ark anymore. We'll just let the cows walk. But if they turn back and go to the little babies to feed them, it's all circumstance. Genius plan, right? And so the Philistines, they built this cart for the Ark of the Covenant. They hooked these cows up, and what did they found? The cows kept moving. The cows kept moving. The cows kept moving. The cows kept moving. They followed these cows, and where are these cows going? We want to make sure, and finally the cows came back to the Israelites, and they were so happy to see this ark again. Yes, God has come back. They sacrificed the cows. They had burnt offerings to God, and they took it back, and they sent it to the house of Abinadab. Yes.
No, it's a difficult name.
Abinadab, yes. Sorry, I struggle with that name. I've been trying. I have been practicing. But, so they sent the ark to Abinadab. This is where the ark is when David has the genius idea to go get it. Right? This is where the story of Obed-Edom really begins. And so we look at the ark and we just look at, we'll read about when Uzzah falls down struck dead. Like, no, that's not the first curse that this ark has caused. It's not. Look at everything. And these are just the very broad general things that have happened. So now it's in this house of Abinadab, and it's there for about 70 years. And did you have any recorded blessing on his household? Have you heard anything that he had done to this man that had that? Remember, Obed-Edom had the ark for 3 months, not 70 years. 70 years, and there's not one recorded blessing for this man or this man's household. Uzzah was his son. He died. So think about that. You can have the Ark of the Covenant in you. You can accept the Ark in you and say, yes, I'm going to be blessed. But unless you are willing to receive the chance of being cursed, is your heart not right? I would say stay away from that Ark. Stay away from that Ark, because the same thing that can bless you can curse you. The same God that can heal you can send you sickness. The same God that brings fortune can bring famine. The same God is the same God of those times as today. Yes, God is good and God is love, but God also hates some things. And he wanted to bring the ark back to the Israelites, and so he brought disease everywhere, where no one else came to get it, by the way. The ark was with the Philistines for a long time, and the Israelites never sucked up the courage to go get it back. God used 2 cows that had never been yoked before to walk across the land. And farmers saw it. Farmers, they were in the wheat field and they saw it. So as we dig into these scriptures in 1 Chronicles chapter 13, when David desires to get the Ark of the Covenant back, it's been in the house of Abinadab for about 70 years. Now, David was a man of God. David had a heart for God. David really loved God. He was a man after God's own heart. I believe he did have a true desire to be near God again, to feel the glory, to experience it. And so, as we read these scriptures through, I'm going to read it from beginning to end first, and then we're going to go over and highlight some things, but I want us to read it all first so that we can get an understanding. And so, let's start in chapter 13. 1 Chronicles chapter 13, starting in verse 1. Then David consulted with the captains and the thousands and hundreds, and with every leader. And David said to all the assembly of Israel, "If it seems good to you, and if it is of the Lord our God, let us send out to our brethren everywhere who are left in the land of Israel, and with them to the priests and Levites who are in their cities and their common lands, that they may gather together to us, and let us bring the ark of our God back to us, for we have not inquired at it since the days of Saul." Then all the assembly said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people. So David gathered all Israel together, from Shehor in Egypt to as far as the entrance of Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Jearim. And David and all Israel went up to Baalah, to Kiriath Jearim, I'm sorry if I'm saying those things wrong, which belonged to Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God the Lord, who dwells between the cherubim, where his name is proclaimed. So they carried the ark of God on a new cart from the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and how do you say that? Ahio drove the cart. Then David and all Israel played music before God with all their might, with singing on harps, on stringed instruments, on tambourines, on cymbals, and with trumpets. And when they came to Chidion's thresh floor, Uzzah put out his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. Then the anger of the Lord was aroused against Uzzah, and he struck him because he had put his hand to the ark, and he died there before God. And David became angry because the Lord's outbreak against Uzzah. Therefore, that place is called Perez Uzzah to this day. David was afraid of God that day, saying, "How can I bring the ark of God to me?" So David would not move the ark with him in the city of David, but took it aside into the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite. The ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house for 3 months. And the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that he had. Wow, there's so many things in here that God wants to point out. And knowing what we know now with the history of the ark, let's start with the fact that David consulted with the captains of thousands and hundreds, and with every leader. Wow. Do you think he should have consulted? Like Christine, you said you asked God first before you checked your voicemail. Help it to be, not saying that that David didn't have a heart for God, but he consulted with captains of thousands of hundreds first. And then he said to all the assembly of Israel, "If it seems good to you," oh wow, they're placed before God in this sentence, "and if it is of the Lord our God." I don't think God was very happy with that request. I think that David had a really desire to be close to God and to go get it. He didn't need the approvals of thousands and hundreds. In fact, he should have done it even if they all said no, if God had said yes. So many times we want others to approve of what we do for God. And it's not right. God gets a bad taste in his mouth when you're doing it because others said yes. Oh yeah, people can encourage you, people can help you in your destiny and encourage you in your ministry, but if you're doing it because, oh yeah, I talked to the elders, I talked to the pastors, I talked to the women's group, and I asked God, and everyone thinks that this is a good idea. Well, it could be. It could also not be, because sometimes God tells us to do something that everyone else says don't do. And sometimes God tells you to do something that you are forbidden to do, and God says do it anyways. For me, not for them. You don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody's approval if God says yes, go. Remember that. You don't need anybody's approval. If God says yes, that's all you need, and that's all God wants. It's that one step of faith, that one trust. And so David made a mistake. David made a mistake. Let us send our brethren everywhere. So David takes all of Israel together, right? He's like, we're going to go. We're going to get the presence and the glory of God back. It's going to be a big party. We had musicians. It was loud. We were worshiping. We were in God's will. And I just cannot help but think about big churches playing loud music when I read the scriptures, because it can sound so right and be so wrong, right? It can sound beautiful. You have the violinists, you have the drums, you have the piano, you have the beautiful singers, not like my voice. It sounds gorgeous. Everybody's getting excited for God. Yeah, they're getting the ark back. But God is saying, oh, wow, I wish you would have done it a different way. I wanted to come be with you. I wanted to come back to you. I want to come and dwell with you. But I don't want you to treat me like that. I don't want to be second. I don't want to be treated as sloppy second. I don't want you to forget the commandments when you treat me. You ought to treat God with reverence and respect. And this new heart is not a rule or an acceptable way to transfer the Ark of the Covenant. Levites, priests, holy people were supposed to have beams going through the holes and carry it on their shoulders so that no oxen would fall, right? It's very specific, and I cannot help but think when I read that to say, oh man, if we're really carrying the Ark of the Covenant, are we really putting muscle into it, or are we just letting the wheels turn? Oh no, we're flowing good. This is much easier than reading my Bible every day. Bringing my phone Bible to church is much easier than carrying this thing to church every Sunday. Not saying that that's a sin, but I'm just making a point that sometimes new technology, right, seems to make life so much easier. Nobody has to carry it. We'll just hook it up to a couple oxen and, we'll get there in half the time, right? We don't need to give the carriers water, or, we don't need to switch it out. They don't need a brake. These are oxen. They can go a long way without a brake. We're going to be so much more sufficient. We're going to reach so many more people. We're going to have so many more baptisms because our wheels are turning fast. Wow. It's wrong.
There's no power there.
There's no power.
It has the appearance of godliness, the Bible says. It has the appearance of godliness, but it lacks the power.
Yes.
So that's basically what you're saying. The appearance of godliness, but it lacks the power.
Oh yeah. Remember, they're worshiping God. They're singing to God. Beautiful music. They're praising God. They're praising God as this is going. And the oxen fails. And the last straw is done by Uzzah. Right? God is like, I can see him up in heaven as all these things are happening against his commandments, against his desires. Maybe because they were worshiping, he was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this. A lot of people read the fact that Uzzah was struck down dead right away as, that's not fair. He was trying to make sure that the ark didn't fall on the ground. Well, it should have never been put in that position in the first place. It should have never been put on a cart. It should have never been driven by animals, by cattle. This is God. It's like letting your dog like, here, you do my daily devotional today. No, it's supposed to be done by us. We cannot throw God's plan for us and give it to someone else. We can't delegate our chores that we have, our obligations that we have to do to God. We can't delegate those to others and rely on the faith of others to be saved ourselves. And so Uzziah reached out his hand and he did. He touched God, and you don't do that. You don't touch God. You don't touch God, and ignorance doesn't matter. It should have never been placed on a cart. It should have never been driven by oxen. It should have never been brought because men approved it. Finally, God said, no! He said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. He said, that's it. That's it. Someone has to die in order to make these people understand what's happening. Someone has to die. Because they have completely thrown out the Old Testament. They have completely ignored my commandments. They have completely degraded me to the point where I'm not even worthy to be carried by the priests. And so Uzziah died. Uzziah died, and David got mad. And I can imagine the big party, all the music, everybody singing. I think over 30,000 people came to gather this ark. And they had walked a while, they'd been chanting, the excitement and the anticipation, and they were thinking, wow, imagine the blessings that are going to come. Imagine the blessings that are going to come. Imagine the blessings that are going to come. That's why I said, don't accept the ark because you want blessings. Because what you get might be something else. Because you are acting in ignorance. Be very careful, because I can hear it now. As Uzziah was struck down dead, it probably went like when the parents come home to a party that the children are not supposed to have and they turn off the stereo real quick. It's like, what just happened? He struck down dead. I can't, just like cockroaches. Like, oh no, I don't want anything to do with that.
Like
because they probably thought that he was going to
a house. You enter a house with cockroaches, right? And you turn on the light. Guess what the cockroaches do? You just see them all the cockroaches just go hide in the.
That's right.
I don't think
they stuck around to see if anybody else was going to be struck down dead.
Yeah.
I think that they saw Uzziah and they saw things not going down. They're like, okay, I'm going to be going this way now. Scattered. I can imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if David and maybe some faithful humans stayed behind with him in the ark and everybody had left. And David feared God. He feared God, he was angry with God, and he said, I don't want anything to do with this. I cannot take this ark. And so they go, what do we do with it? This is the interesting part of the story. We don't know exactly how the ark ended up in the house of Obed-Edom. It doesn't say that Obed-Edom volunteered. It doesn't even tell us if he was there or not. I don't believe he was, because he didn't live in those areas, and it doesn't say that David went to the nearest house. It just says they brought it to the house of Obed-Edom. I believe that God led them to the house of Obed-Edom. I believe that there was a supernatural direction, because just like how God made his way back from the Philistines into the Israelite country, I think that God made his way from the death of Uzziah into the house of Obed-Edom. And so David, imagine having the king of Israel knock on your door with the Ark of the Covenant behind him and say, hey, Obed-Edom, how are you today? We want you to keep the Ark of the Covenant in your house, only temporarily. Did he know about Uzziah? Did he not? I don't know. It doesn't specifically say. You can think about it in both scenarios. If he did, then wow, he was a really faithful person for taking that ark in. And if he had kids, he was probably like, kids want to touch everything. Don't touch that thing. He was in his house, so it's like, well, don't clean it, don't touch it, whatever you do, don't go near it. There's some mighty power in that thing. You just don't know, but we know that he did not say no. He didn't say, no, I'm not going to accept it like David did. David said, I don't want anything to do with you, God. I'm so mad at you that I want you out of here. Right? That's what we do sometimes when destruction comes. You say you're praying for a family member. that is ill. And sadly, they die. And we blame God. And we say, sometimes we turn away from God and we say, I don't want anything to do with you, God. Or it can bring you closer and you can understand that God, yes, is a good God. Even though bad things happen out of disobedience or out of ignorance or out from the devil. However bad things happen, God is always good. It doesn't matter if they come from the devil, if it's a punishment from God, if it's a consequence of ignorance, whatever it is that has happened in your life that you see as something bad, something hurt, it is not because God is not good. God is always good. He's always good. He struck down Uzzah because everything that had happened before, and he was finally had to help these people realize that God is not a God that you can just float around. God is a God to be revealed and to be worshipped and to be scared of, to have fear for, and to have love for. And after all this has happened, the Ark of the Covenant ends up in the house of Obed-Edom. The name Obed means slave. He was a slave for God, and we don't know how close he was to God before, but we know that in these 3 months, everything that he had was blessed. It left nothing unblessed. In 3 months. So much so that David, the one that rejected the ark, said, oh wow, I'm beginning to regret that decision a little bit. I thought God was just cursing people that had the ark over and over and over again. But now I see that God is also good and blesses those that are faithful to him and loyal to him and obedient to him and that have a heart for him and that soaks up his glory every day and that want to have it. You know, that go and probably because they couldn't touch it, I can see Obed-Edom putting his head where Moses' head was in between those cheerios, like right over, like, I'm not touching it, but I'm as close as I can get. Have you ever been so close to God, the closest that you can get, that you almost feel it vibrating next to you, feel the heat of the Lord, and you're just taken away. And in these 3 months, Obed-Edom fell in love with God like no man had perhaps before. We've never heard of Obed-Edom until then. This is the first time, but this is not the last time you hear about him. There are some other passages that keep going on as you read on in Chronicles about Obed-Edom. David goes to the house of Obed-Edom because he wants this ark back. He goes, okay, God, you're not all bad. You're also somewhat good. You've blessed it. In just 3 months, you've blessed everything. Okay, I'm going to give it another chance, and I'm going to do it right this time. So he went to the house of Obed-Edom. Obed-Edom has had everything, right? He did not tell David to stop. He didn't say, let me keep it for just 1 more month, right? He didn't do any bargaining or anything. He was obedient. He said, okay, God, if it's time for you to leave my house, then it's also time for me to leave mine. He followed the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem. God had blessed all his house. He was probably living in a very nice house. He had many, many sons. He had many, many grandsons. He was blessed and blessed. His wife was more beautiful now than ever before because he blessed everything. Her youth had been restored and their marriages had been restored and everything was blessed. You know, she had become a great cook from being really bad. I mean, we don't know all the blessings that had come. And so instead of sitting and, living those blessings, living in that situation that he had been put in and enjoying all the good that God has blessed us with, right? I like my house, I like my cars, I like my family now, I like my job, I like how everything is going, and so you go, I'll just stay here and I'll enjoy everything that you've been giving me. No. He said, okay, God, you go, I go. I am so in love with you and I'm so for you that I don't care if I have to leave everything good that you've done for me at my house, right? That's why he blessed him so. Because his heart was not about the blessing. He didn't say, yes, here's the ark, I'm going to be blessed. In fact, he probably says, the Ark of the Covenant is here, don't touch it, don't go close to it, be very afraid, it's killed a lot of people, right? This just killed Uzzah. He didn't think, oh wow, here is the Ark of the Covenant in my house, I'm going to be blessed, that's great. He didn't know that he was Obed-Edom, the man of many blessings. It hadn't been written yet. He thought, oh well, Lord, I better be very careful now that I have this ark in my house. I don't want to do the same mistakes. I don't want to automate my process with you. I want to submit to you. I want to show my love to you every day. I want to be in your presence every day. I want to learn about you every day. And he did that. And so the relationship that him and God built in 3 months is one that was irrevocable. To the point where David took the ark, brought it back to Jerusalem. They had a giant festival and feast again. And Obed-Edom didn't have a job, right? He left everything behind, and so then they're asking for gatekeepers in the temple. He said, I'll do it. Anything. I'll do anything to be close to God. I'll do anything. We don't know what he did in his other town, right? He could have been the mayor for all we know, because God blessed everything. He said, I'll be a gatekeeper. I'll be a toilet cleaner in the house of the Lord. I don't care. I mean, the gatekeeper's not a toilet cleaner, but he would have because he loved God. And he wanted to serve him, and so he said yes. And so God blessed him in that role. And then he got promoted into being in the worship ministry. He played the harp. Well, it says Obed-Edom played the harp and the musical instruments for the Lord. So he was worshiping and praising God. And he was brought into that. And then finally, he was one of the few that was chosen to minister for God in the temple of God. And so God kept blessing him and kept blessing him because he knew that living without God is not a life at all. And that's why God blessed him, because the blessings, yes, I'm sure he appreciated and praised God for them, but the biggest blessing that Obed-Edom got was a relationship with God that was irrevocable and unbreakable.
And it went on to generations. It didn't stop when Obed-Edom died. His generations were also blessed. So that short period of time that the Ark of the Covenant was in his house was probably, it was one of those moments in life that is like, and you made a good point. You said Obed-Edom didn't know he was Obed-Edom. and it just makes me think of our lives. We don't know. We're just living our lives today. We're just worshiping God. If somebody were to write a story about our lives, at a certain point in time in your life, you don't know. You're just doing what you're doing. You're just serving God. And you made a great point. You said Obed-Edom didn't know he was Obed-Edom. He just loved the Lord. And he accepted the ark with all the history of what had happened prior. And he had a healthy fear of the Lord, which represents the Ark of the Covenant. And the Lord blessed him. But he wasn't even seeking after a blessing. He wasn't seeking after a blessing. So that's really powerful.
Yes. Yes. So with that, it leads us straight into the main point of the message. When you hear this story, when the story resonates in your heart, who are you in this story? Are you a Philistine? Are you somebody who wants to steal God away from somebody else? You know, they say, oh, they have the power, I want it. It doesn't have to be two enemies, it can be two friends, right? You see God really powerfully working in somebody else. I can say, I see God really works powerfully through Olu. Oh, I got to get myself that God and try to steal it instead of embracing it and sharing it. Are you a Philistine? Or are you an Israelite that take God for granted and you don't even fight your own battles? You don't fight for the Lord, you just put him out and say, I'm a Christian. You go do everything. God, you fix everything. You do it all. I'm going to fail. Right? That's what they said. They said, if we go into battle this day without the ark, we're all going to die. God wants you to believe in yourself. He made you beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully. Don't throw him out of the first line of defense. You're supposed to defend God too. We're supposed to defend God. Not let it go into the middle of battle where it can get stolen. Keep God in the secret places of your heart, where no one can touch it, where no one can steal it. Don't leave God vulnerable in life. Don't put him on the outside of you. Put him on the inside of you. Don't get dressed up for church every Sunday and prance around and say to everybody that you meet, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, in a way that just puts God outside of you and not inside of you. If you have the Ark of the Covenant inside of you, it shines through you And you don't have to tell people that you're Christian. They will know. Through your light, through your eyes, through your care, through your non-judgmental tone, through everything. Don't put God on the outside. Keep Him secret and keep Him safe in your heart where no one can touch Him, where no one can take Him, where no one can steal Him. Or are you Abinadab, who had the Ark of the Covenant for 70 years and nothing happened? It's like having a Bible and you put it over here for 70 years. You have the power. It's sitting right there for 70 years and you don't use it. Yeah, you're not touching it, but that's also not good. You're supposed to touch your Bible, right? He completely took it, probably put the Ark of the Covenant in his garage and locked it up and forgot it was there. You have the power, but you're not utilizing the power. Don't be like Abimelech. And don't be like David. In that way. Be like David in a lot of other ways, but don't seek the approval of men before seeking the approval of God. If God says do something, you do it, whether or not people approve of you. Or are you Obed-Edom, who seeks to be so close to God that he will give up anything in his life, including blessings, to be with God, and to volunteer for things that he doesn't care? I'd do anything to be with God. Would you do anything to be with God today? Would you give up everything? Would you be willing to leave your children, your family, your house, your security, your 401k, your pension, your savings account, your clothes, your pictures, everything that you've stored up for yourself in this life, all these memories that you've made? Would you be willing to give it all up to be with Him, to be with Jehovah, to be with the King of Kings, to be with the God of gods, the God that loves you more than anything else? If He says, I'm out of here, are you going to say bye, or are you going to say I'm coming with you? You can't run away from me, God. You can't run away from me. Are you going to run after me, or are you going to just say, I guess we're meant to depart from one another. It was good while it lasted.
I got my blessings.
I got my blessings, exactly. Don't let life be about blessings. Don't let life be about approvals. Don't let life be about victories. Live your life for one and one alone. Live your life for God every day. And strive every day to get closer and closer to Him, and to know Him better and better, and to really carry Him on your shoulders. Like here, we're supposed to carry the Ark of the Covenant. Don't put God on a cart. Yeah, it's easier, but it's bad. Labor with love, sweat, and tears, and God will give you what you desire most, which is the glory, the presence, the love, and the relationship that we all so desire. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you and we praise you for this most glorious night, Lord. I thank you and I praise you for my brothers and sisters who are here tonight, oh Lord. We know that, oh man, the glory that was in the house of Obed-Edom, oh Lord, was far greater than the glory that was with David's people of 30,000 people worshiping you, oh Lord. The things that were done in just 3 months in the house of Obed-Edom, oh man, that's so much more that was done in other places for so much longer, oh Lord. We pray right now in the mighty name of Jesus, oh Lord, that you would take us into your most holy place. Take us up into the inner courts, oh Lord, and let us be so close to you that we can never leave you, oh Lord. Give us a relationship with you that we can never leave, oh Lord, no matter what in the world you have given us or that we feel that we can't leave behind, oh Lord. It means nothing if we can't be with you, oh Lord. We love you and we thank you, oh Lord, that the ark is in us, oh Lord. Help us to carry you. Help us to be good stewards of you. Help us to fear you and to love you and to always be with you, oh Lord. Let our feet not fail, but help our feet to be strong strong, as we lift you on high, O Lord, as we lift you up and give you glory each and every day, O Lord. Help us to live a life like Obed-Edom, O Lord. Help us to live a life like he did, where he said, God, if you go, I'm coming with you. You cannot get away from me, Lord. Lord, you cannot get away from us. Oh Lord, wherever you go, we are coming. Wherever you go, we are going with you. We are running after you. We will never let you go, oh Lord. Oh no, oh Lord, we are yours forever. We are your children forever. We will love you forever, and we will adore you forever, oh Lord. I thank you and I praise you for the mighty, mighty, mighty blessings that you gave tonight, oh Lord. I thank you, oh Lord, for the mighty word that you gave, oh Lord. I thank you for the revelations and the experience of being so close to you that I don't want to stop, Lord. Let's keep going all night. I love you and I thank you for everything that you've done, oh Lord. Come and show up and show off in a mightier way next week, oh Lord. And help us to be, help us to bring smiles to your faces in this next week, oh Lord. Help us to make you proud. Help us to make you so proud of us and to be happy and rejoicing and to be a sweet smelling fragrance in your nostrils all week as we serve you and love you. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.